Hi, I'm Chems, and for today's video, we're going to have our fourth installment of Things and Stuffs, where we go into things that are interesting and stuffs that may be of use. And for maybe some of the newer faces around, this is kind of the series where I try to highlight interesting or useful stuffs. We're going to start with one that is not per se available anymore. It's likely still possible to do it, although it's just an interesting thing where if we were to do a lot of bounties in one area with, of course, with bounty cheesing, we have that opportunity quite a lot. You would get eventually what we're going to see in this clip in a second. And this has been mostly patched out. We've gotten it to happen once after the newest patch, 2.22, although I think they patched that out even in 2.22.2 that we had recently. If you were to fast travel away and fast travel back, it would cause basically what we're about to see now. And we're going to start with a little simple one, as we've done some bounty cheese in here, and sometimes when you fast travel away and fast travel back, this happens. And for those that haven't seen it, especially as you need to be around the area for quite a bit. But we're committing some war crimes with our mind. And I feel I need to just let the bodies hit the floor and just go. And just go. And for you, those of you that think it's done, you can still hear that it's still kind of going. As we've made interesting mural here, for instance, and I think we might be the bad guys, because also if we go on this other end, it has respawned everybody, and actually now they're dying on this end. I can't see the stairs anymore. So yeah, if I'm not indicted for war crimes, we'll go into our segment here, and we'll go and look at some more interesting things and stuffs. And coming to our next small thing, and that is that here in New York, in the north, kind of by the gate, near that one echo that we have there, kind of going in between the two control points if you were to be in this northern side, there is a lone True Sons flag. And this has always been here. So we have had in the past manhunts in the old style that were in New York, with True Sons invading New York, cleaners invading DC, even Black Tusk taking control points here and there. But even before all that, this True Sons flag was here as just kind of a little bit of an Easter egg, I guess. Or it may have much deeper meaning. Who's to know, as some of these mysteries goes. But yeah, it is just quite interesting that, because it is also very specifically a True Sons flag. It is the blacking out that they do to the flags. And then actually you can kind of see it in the background there. There's a normal flag. And yeah, the True Sons one is hanging half at half mast. So yeah, was there some True Sons here? Is this just maybe like story building through just in-world assets, or are we just reading way too much into this? Either way, an interesting thing. And for our next stuffs, one that applies to held skills, we're going to specifically be showing it off here with the Chems, although specifically the Oxy. And that is that weapon talents will apply to held skills. That also does affect actually the stickies if you, for some reason, have a talent that you could use there. And for instance, here we're using this stability to show it. This is the Glory Days, has a talent plus 100% stability, also minus optimal range, but for the purposes of the Oxy, that doesn't matter. First, I'm going to show it with a weapon that isn't that and doesn't have that talent. We can see that if we aim it kind of at this target dummy here, it kind of weaves around and kind of, it isn't stable at all, basically. If we now swap actually to the Glory Days, which has that talent, and then pull out the Oxy, if I kind of put this and find the center and kind of then release, basically, it is weaving just a tiny bit. There's basically a little bit of scope sway still, but it's a very tiny amount. And yeah, that is an important tactic to use. We can use that in many ways, actually. So for instance, one of the other ways that it gets used, or here and there, is, for instance, with the chatterbox. So here, for instance, if I were to shoot a few rounds, reload my chatterbox, and I have 3 stacks, if I now pull out my Oxy, we can see that I can fire actually pretty fast. We basically got a rate of fire from the chatterbox transferring over to the Oxy. If I were to swap to that other weapon that doesn't have it, we can kind of see the difference. Especially if you use it, especially with 5 stacks on the chatterbox, a very noticeable difference to get the Oxys out. And that gets used quite a bit. There are other talents that can be used here as well. Pummel is also a good one for Oxy. A little bit cheesy because, yeah, it will reset basically the mag of the Oxy if you get a kill while holding that. Well, you need 3 kills and then it refills it all the way to 8 again. And yeah, several others will also kind of apply through that. I want to also do basically a for no particular reason here somewhat, and that is that a lot of people are saying that also stability mods and such will apply through. That isn't the case. It's basically only talents. So for instance here, the other weapon that we were using actually was a FAMAS with all stability mods, and this actually of course has 140 or 130 stability all total because of the mods being changed. If we were to, for instance, go back to having that Glory Days in that second slot, if we look again with the Glory Days, which has the talent, yeah, kind of perfectly, well, not perfectly swayless, but pretty swayless, and this then gets used, for instance, as well for incursions or such to do very long-range Oxys to destroy generators very early on and stuff. If we now go back to that FAMAS, it is, in effect, basically as if we have no extra stability. And yeah, we just have our normal sway. And while this isn't much, it is, yeah, it is very noticeable difference, especially if you're holding it. For those as well that might go like, oh, it is because the mods are still applying, although maybe less or something. No, it's basically if you A/B test it versus, for instance, there a weapon, when I stripped it of all of its mods, it's the exact same. So talents do apply, mods do not, very importantly. And yeah, there are some shenanigans we can pull there for Oxys especially. And as another stuffs for some of the objectives, as for instance here, for destroying the Black Tusk helicopter. Generally, you don't want to do that, actually. It's better quite often to not do the objective until it is required of you. So in here, we're going to kill the 2 snipers real quick. We're going to blow up that side, heavily damaging it. But we're not blowing up the chopper, and there's a good reason for that. In a lot of places, the trigger happens off of those kinds of things. So there's going to be a boss. They're going to spawn there. We're going to now actually blow this up. I'm going to get ready with a grenade as well. Sledge on the boss. I'm going to toss a grenade there, toss a grenade there. I have some good teammates with me who will murder everything pretty quickly. But that is much easier than trying to fight this boss fight as intended by triggering it first and then trying to run up here and trying to intercept the boss. Instead of that, wait with some of the objectives, and I would recommend overall, just whenever you have objectives, just try not doing them and seeing what happens. So yeah, on to the next one. And for our next stuffs, we come to our dear Quartermaster, where we have the specialization weapons. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is whenever anybody sees this screen, if I'm swapping specializations or such, is why don't I have 10 points spent on all of these? And the reason for that is very simple, and that is that I don't take the pistols. All of the pistols on them are basically respec'd out, and that is just to avoid having them. I don't use any of them. None of them are really useful. The only one that maybe could be seen as somewhat useful is the fire starter from the firewall. But even this to me is basically, this is more of a trivia thing than an actual useful thing. I know you can set warhounds on fire. if you set a heroic war hunt ever on fire, you'll know that it barely does anything. So yeah, this is more trivia than useful. But then without having this, I don't have to have all of those pistols in between all of my other pistols. And that's kind of handy sometimes. Sometimes, especially for instance, for Eclipse characters or when I'm running Eclipse, I might want to swap between a pistol with Perpetuation and Future Perfect or other things as it may be. So we just avoid that. Also, nowadays, because some oldies might not know this, is that nowadays you can actually mark them for deletion and actually just get them out of there in general. But if you were to do this and have it still be spec'd in the specialization, if I were to go, let's say, to a sharpshooter and then back to, let's say, a technician, I would actually receive the pistol back again. So every time you go to something else and then come back to technician, it would be here. So instead of that, what we do is just go in here, respec this element out and just not have it spent. And yeah, then you don't have to have 6 weapons basically there. They don't take inventory space or such. That is not the issue. But yeah, they do clutter up the pistols and yeah, you just have to look through more. So instead of that, I just get rid of it. And we're gonna have a trio of things here in Potomac, actually. The first of which is that there is, of course, this one dude that by himself goes to examine what the hell happened over there as he goes and checks it out.
Main entrance is clear.
This guy is actually not linked basically to the others, where in most patrols or something, if you assault one of them, you basically all of them get alerted. Here though, if we actually go up to him and murder him with a suppressed weapon, as I did there, we didn't actually aggro everybody else. And this can actually be quite handy, because now, of course, instead of engaging everyone, I can push a lot further forward before I need to start fighting. So actually I can get already kind of in position and then start the fight. And a little further in this mission, we see our next thing, which is that when we go past the boats, as we've just destroyed the boats on this way up to go into the back to fight the next the next area. There is this billboard, and actually, yeah, on that billboard, there is a little bit of an Easter eggy kind of thing, and that is that there is this QR code as pointed out by Scooby, and if we indeed, as said there as well, kind of scan this QR code and kind of bring it up, we see that yeah, it is actually the E3 2018 gameplay walkthrough in 4K, all the way back from 6 years ago, a long time ago in this galaxy, but a long time ago. And yeah, it's actually kind of funky that they put that in there. And here we arrive at the boss fight. We're gonna clear this out, try to do it quickly. And there is another somewhat Easter eggy thing that we can go for. Once we have this cleared out. And I specifically want also to show the video that plays, on the screen that plays in a second. And do pay attention to that, the room behind them especially, as we're gonna go find that room, which becomes available after the fight. As this guy just really wanted to go home instead of fight me. But yeah, we have you know, some post-it notes there, a calendar, some books there, a computer, a fan there. But yeah, basically the backdrop to this scene, as Kelso takes down the strategist, who's also of course been taken, and we need to go get him back. As he was taken with Chernenko and the perfusion bioreactor away by Black Tusk when they assaulted the White House. Of note as well, here we do have this, and yeah, we did fill the timer there as I was recording, of course, and such. Interestingly as well, the timer, the projects are over, but the timer still plays, which is kind of interesting. We'll grab our loot along the way back. Nothing of interest, but we do want the resources. So we can actually go back now. And normally, of course, when you're arriving here with Kelso, she will take a hard right at this point and kind of go upstairs. It turns out that she was going, and yeah, she does actually go into this door that is now open. Normally this would be closed, and it turns out that we can also open this door for authorized personnel only. And if we kind of go in here, if we kind of look around, we'll see that this was the background that they had with the post-it notes and that and the red fan. And while the video is actually a video and doesn't actually like work from here, we do have basically where the strategist was. And yeah, we have a chicken grilled coffee, which either part of me goes, and part of me goes, yeah, chicken grilled coffee. So yeah, this is a little bit of an Easter egg where we can go to the spot where the strategist gets taken. And as we come to another small interesting thing, as kind of shown up there by Manter, who posted this in the Discord, is that there is a hole right next door to the World's End here in Downtown West, on the west end of Downtown West, where the world ends. And yeah, there is actually a little place where we can actually jump in, but once you're in for good. As yeah, this would be a good place to maybe keep some, let's say, you know, less desirables. I feel this would maybe be a good place for Keener. I mean, I'm not sure if he can fast travel. Our way out, of course, only is a fast travel. If I try to go around and try to mount anything. Also, yeah, of course, they didn't fully intend for anybody to be down here, so they kind of clipped through the walls and such. But yeah, if you ever just want to maybe imprison yourself for some reason, here's your place. And as always with things and stuffs, we also go through a mission, and I kind of show all of the loot positions, and if there's any other interesting stuff to point out inside of that mission. For this one, we're gonna take one that is very much has a bunch of interesting stuffs, and even will explain kind of the boss fight towards the end. And that is Liberty Island. And yeah, we'll cut in and out as we come to places where there is loot. I'm not going to show the entire mission, of course, so I'll see you at the first crate. And here, after clearing out the entry, basically, as we head into the terminals, just after the first few waves, on the right side here, often missed crate for no reason, really, I feel, in just by the Kermans before we head into the Argate is a little weapon crate there. Very easy to grab, but often missed, actually. And coming here to where we have gotten our boat and to go to Liberty Island with, secured it, we have a little crate down here, which also often gets missed before we go across, basically. Interestingly, as well, as we'll see here, is that once we actually do go across, it actually resets. On the other side, once we kind of get completely destroyed and crash into Liberty Island, with Kelso being injured, if we go down again, somebody has been so kind as in that fight to come out and restock a few boxes here. Or maybe these were just, you know, somewhere behind these doors and they got lodged and unlodged out. Then we also have actually one of the bigger secrets here, and one that actually, yeah, I had to be shown. I didn't find this one myself because who would? Because it's very weird. If we kind of go around the street, we see there's a nest in it. We have a nest there. If we were to say shoot this nest, for which, you know, you have really no reason because there's no enemies here or ever or anything, but if you shoot this nest, suddenly a key drops out of it. Basically, we have the Dark Souls, you know, we're trading items there, a bullet for a key there. What that key allows you to do is once we go in here, normally these things would not be activatable, not interactable. Instead, now they are. So there are 4 of these. We're going to get all 4. That's number 1. This is number 2. Then we have number 3 here. Number 4 is actually up in the middle there. Here, normally, well, you always get this disrupt happening. If you actually wait back here a little bit, and then go, You may notice I'm actually not disrupted, which is actually, of course, very nice for on heroic, where we have, especially in a 4-man team, a bunch of heavies here, and can actually be an annoying fight. It behooves you to not get yourself just jammed for no apparent reason. So yeah, just hold back there for a second. We'll go get our 4th one.
We don't want to telegraph our intentions.
And then we'll also get this box over here.
Just don't listen to what he says.
And we'll come back actually in a second after this fight to open the scene. After we clear out this area and all the enemies are dead. Or maybe, you know, you scoot off and go get it by yourself while your allies are fighting. That's up to you. Yeah, we're at the Liberty Island Museum, which is that building. And of course, every good museum has a gift shop. And yeah, we've gotten ourselves that access now to that gift shop. This is the door that gets opened basically by getting that key, hitting those four activates, and then we get to have actually 4 pieces of well, we have 4 crates in here with a few resources around them as well and such. And yeah, this is of course well worth getting along your way. Why not, right? A little bit of extra loot, but also one of the secrets that took me the longest basically to well, not for myself to be discovered, but actually, yeah, then somebody showed it to me, and I'm very curious actually, yeah, how they figured it out. Also, going out of here, we don't have many. I'm not going to show all of them basically, but yeah, there's a bunch of hanging boxes as well in this mission. We'll only really show gear, like gear and weapon crates and such. But yeah, there is actually, if you look up, there is a bunch of places where it's worth it as well. And after we destroy Barden Schaefer's Razorback, after he brings razors back, yeah, we can go around, and there's actually a bunch of boxes here. So we'll start off here on this corner where we have this box. Then, actually, if we were to go all the way back, we have a few hanging boxes for resources and such. These positions I always kind of forget, but actually it being kind of half dark, they're glowing up. So, but then there's actually a weapons crate here as well to get. This one often gets skipped, even when you know, because it is kind of backtracking quite a bit. And then yeah, we're gonna go across to that corner where we have a gear crate. And also we have a somewhat of a almost thing where we have a box that is hanging from there. We'll see it clearer in a second. A resource crate. If we shoot it, I'm not going to stand underneath it. Normally this would drop the resources directly underneath it, right? But actually if we go stand underneath it, you'll see that there is a little bit of a tip of a white there, and this is also the reason I don't have Fog of War on, as I wanted to show this. It actually drops it there. It's kind of just misplaced where this one drops it. We do actually as well have a resource over here, but it's kind of hard to see always from that distance. Somewhere up there. Got it eventually. We're gonna of course go through here, get 2 crates out here as well, and those resources that we just dropped down. And then also there is a little bit of an Easter egg here that we're gonna go have a peek at before we go fight ourselves a marauder. And that is, if we go to the right here, get this resource along the way. There's of course multiple other resources here. There's a box there, there's a box there, and a box over there. But actually, if we take a hard right
it's our last one, sir.
and go here,
Just do it.
we'll see a dedication to somebody's dedicated to my mom. This island is for you, Wemo. And yeah, we have 2 cute little teddy bears, of course, here. Yeah, let's go fight the Marauder, and then we'll continue showing places. And yeah, of course, after the Marauder fight, or even before, although usually I do it after, when it's safer, we of course have the key chest here, the Black Tusk one, where we grab that. And yeah, of course, all of those resources we dropped earlier. I'm gonna grab them here, actually. What I want to show as well, of course, is here, there is a lot of shock ammo. There's actually a lot of shock ammo in this mission in general along the way, because it's even more than what we consider, like right over there. Heading up to this point, especially if you're Eclipse, it behooves you to grab a lot of that shock ammo. Here, I'm especially gonna put some in my secondary. I'm gonna actually go with let's go with an ACS, for instance, here. We're gonna grab some there. I'm actually not gonna grab any of the others. I just want a little bit of it. That'll come in useful later on when we fight Keener. Then we'll go get this crate in the back here, with this resource here as well. And then, yeah, we'll push in. And as we chase Keener, of course, there's a crate on the right here, as I actually automatically just out of force of habit ran in here and grabbed it before actually hitting record. If we push through a little bit more, we of course come up to our next weapon crate as well. And we can grab that. Well, there's no need to touch this echo. We're gonna go into the fight here, of course, in a second, where we are fighting all of these drones. A lot of people overthink this room and try to do jammer stuff and such, but even on heroic here, first I jump down and make sure that it's not rogues, because sometimes you can have rogues here. So I just jump down first and make sure it's not rogues. Then I'm gonna actually exchange this turret, this shield that I have for this one room to a turret. And I'm gonna then hit this laptop, and this is more, of course, just a tactic that you can use here. And we do this, when back in the day as well, when we were doing roaming runs. You send it out basically once it starts. And honestly, I can just stand back here, or not even be here. This used to be usually where I take a bio break. We're not gonna keep watching it for the whole time, but yeah, this just works. Even with, for instance, here I have a few skill tiers. I'm actually going to then hold a TDI card custom in this case as well for an extra skill tier. We have 4 in total now. You will get hit by some of the random stuff. Some of the seekers might hit you, but generally even those go after the turret as they do there. That's why you stand kind of back here. I was just a little bit too far forward. And you don't have to do anything, really. You can just go take a pee break and come back, and it'll be done. And after being in that room and just not doing much, we come upstairs as we have now. What you want to have for the Keener fight, and this is poorly understood by many people, Keener has a special hack. He's different than hunters, he's different than anybody else. He can hack your skills. He has his own skills like rogues. He can hack your skills like hunters. But then he has a special hack where he will make it so that you deploy whatever skills you have equipped as a hostile variant. So if I were to go into this mission with these two, if he was to get his hack off, which big if, if we do it right, if he were to get his hack off, then this would become a stinger hive at my feet, and this would become just this turret, and it would just drop at my feet and start to murder me. If you had a healing camp, for instance, it would become an oxy. If you had, if you have a sticky, it will just put a sticky on the floor underneath you. What we want to take then is skills that do not have hostile variants, like the shield. He does not make it become a deflector shield and try to kill you that way. So yeah, what you can take is a shield, and the other what you can take as well. So for instance here, an artificer wouldn't be too bad. It would become a stinger hive. The easiest one to take and kind of useful as well is to take a jammer pulse, and you can then jammer his skills, of course. And yeah, there's no hostile variant of these. But what I'm actually going to take is the remote pulse, and this would generally be what I would take in group settings as well for this. And the reason we take the remote pulse is that, yeah, it is a deployable. And another trick we can use with him is that, for instance, here I'm on the high-end tech tank. Not per se the tech tank I would use in this fight. Striker would be much more useful, but this is the one that I have here. And yeah, we're going to use Faraday with that from Technician with the remote pulse where it does apply. So, for instance, Decoy would also be a skill that does not have a hostile variant, but it does not provide Faraday for our purposes. And we'll kind of come back to that in a second when we show how we end Keener. But yeah, you want, if you are in Technician, to be Jammer Pulse Shield, basically. If you are Technician, yeah, you can take this Remote Pulse, which even if it gets hacked, does not do anything important. Otherwise, yeah, you can't even go with the Artificer, but then yeah, you have to be aware that if it does get hacked, you need to quickly kill it as it becomes a Stinger Hive. And that's kind of how Keener's hack work. Yeah, I'm gonna go fight him, and we'll cut back just
You gotta
before
do
we
whatever
move
you
here.
can to
We're coming to the end of this fight, where we're blowing up the last parts of the missiles. When we kill this last one, all of the skills will disappear, so we don't need to kill all those. And yeah, as was kind of talking about Faraday, I'm using this for Faraday. We had shock rounds in our little sledge there, and also we're going to use it for the sledge. Yeah, some shock rounds on him. Gonna try to murder him as fast as possible. Basically, he will not get much of a chance. And yeah, what the Faraday did there is keep him, because normally once he spawns, basically he would a shock would go out and everybody would get shocked, letting him jump down. Instead of that, we Faraday ourselves. And even if you were to get his hack off, that skill would not become anything really dangerous to us. And then, yeah, having some shock rounds to kind of keep him in place a little bit. But of course, as well, there, for instance, I used it with a lefty and then also sledged him, because why not? Also that if we toss an EMP grenade over there, then that will also remove his defender drone if you time it basically right. But you can also just lob a bunch of them. After that fight, we'll actually go get our last crate here. And this was actually one of the crates I discovered super late, because I didn't check most of the boss rooms, basically, because why would you, right? There's no crates in boss room, right? Although actually there's a bunch, turns out. But yeah, this is one of the harder ones to find. And then actually we'll also show us a little thing here, because we have a little Easter eggy kind of thing here, although, well, not intended, definitely, by the devs. But as we were talking earlier, this mission kind of having maybe a little bit of a reference to that little the little raven back at the sanctuary from Dark Souls. Illusory walls apparently also exist in Division. As yeah, this wall we can just straight up phase through. And yeah, on the other side, we have basically, yeah, we're through the map. There's basically a little gap there, and this kind of shows us the areas here. And actually, if we were to use a weapon that has a scope, you can actually see that that is, for instance, the room where we fight all of the drones and such. One other actually tip that I do want to give here as well is that as a striker, you can actually, while these are active, you can actually stack striker stacks on these. So actually, one of the best things to use for this fight is an chest striker. And then you just, before the fight, just, when they're deactivated, it no longer counts. Also, I'm not striker, but yeah, you just stack up on these just before Kino spawns, and you'll be on like 180 stacks by the time that he spawns. And then you just instantly melt him. And so yeah, that was Liberty. Let's go for one last little thing to round it out, and then we'll conclude. And to end our fourth installment of this Things and Stuffs, something that, yeah, we used to do, we've done a few so far, well, this being the fourth, we've done 3 other ones. So if you're interested in those, definitely go check them out. As yeah, they're, I feel pretty interesting, and I enjoy making them. We're going to end here, as, of course, this is being recorded close to the end of the year, a little bit past Christmas as well. So yeah, we're at Celebration Hotel with the Christmas music in the background. And as our way of, you know, going into the new year, you of course have a lot of fireworks just around here, which, you know, you could just set off. But actually, if we were to pay attention, and actually we'll go into photo mode and kind of zoom and enhance, there might be something set up for us here. And yeah, this is not just here, of course. Right now, this is always here, with a lot of, with this guy having dragged up all of this fireworks, ultimate power fireworks, all the way up there. And yeah. Of course, we'll then use that to wish each other, well, first of all, hoping that we've all had a good year, and then, of course, hoping for a great year up ahead, as we'll, you know, make ourselves a big boom. And yeah, that is the little thing at Celebration Hotel. Often missed, It's actually strange to me that how few people know about it. But yeah, it's always fun to come out here and kind of, you know, have a celebration at Celebration Hotel. And yeah, we're gonna use that as well to sign out here. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do any and all of the algorithm things down below. That does help out, so I'll do that little bit of shilling. I'll try to do more of these things and stuffs in the coming year. I definitely want to do a lot of them. But for that as well, I would like some of your helps out there. If you know something that would fit into the series, on the Discord, linked in the description, there is a channel, Things and Stuffs. That's where I and others as well as we had show up in today's video as well. Kind of gather some of the things and stuffs that we think would fit in here. And if you have any, yeah, feel free to join the Discord and add yours to there, as that will help out, as yeah, otherwise I don't have enough of these. We will eventually run out in some ways. And yeah, we'll do more of them, and yeah, I hope you join me for those. But for now, thanks for joining me for this one. Hope you had a great year, and yeah, well wishes for the next year. And as always, have a good night.